All right. Well, I'd just like to welcome everybody here today. I am Stefan Rasprich. I'm an actor as well as a teacher and an avid D&D player. I've been playing with my friends ever since I was in high school. Not the same friends, but we definitely had a nice group during the pandemic where we kept each other sane by running a campaign. Now, I myself am not a very good dungeon master. I've tried it, and I certainly would like to say, though, that the first thing about being a good player, as your coach speaking to you now, is treat the story that the dungeon master is creating like gold. Because they are a special species of human. They're the person who goes out of their time to create, goes out of their way to create a world just for you and some friends, and to make it spectacular and to bring you to these amazing experiences. And the amount of hours that goes into the prep, like I'm a teacher, and I have the same feeling about teachers too, is that this is not only being a good player, but being a good student. And a student of the game, a student of performance, is all about being aware and having this sort of feeling in your heart that I really want to support this story and these other players, and I want everyone to have a really good experience. So there we go, and that includes ourselves. So without kind of getting too deep into the psychology of things, I just want to start off because yesterday, we had a campaign. It runs usually every Sunday night, and we get together, and our DM is, in Eastern Canada, and we're in the West here, most of us. And so, for us to like get online, we use Roll20 and D&D Beyond, which you can see my character is up in that format. Asher Buckwind, he's a 6th level halfling druid. And I guess one of the key things about your character is to really get into their history. And I mean, there's two schools of this from the acting perspective. There's like, the method actor, like, the famous Dustin Hoffman, like going and, walking so far and, getting himself like, punishing, grueling physical sort of things in order to get into role. And then Laurence Olivier comes along and says, why don't you just act? Like those sort of things. I mean, they're probably misrepresented and epic things in other people's worlds, but I do like to do a little combination of both. I like to, and it's the same with my teaching, I like to have a script, I like to have a plan, I like to take notes, I like to create the backstory and that narrative, but also completely be open to the improv of the moment. And that's where those two sides really work nicely together. As a neurodivergent person, I often have the script, and that's a very strong sort of like Shakespeare, to be or not to be. That is the question. The punctuation tells us how to feel, whether we're in a thinking mode or whether we're in an emotional mode. And that's all so structured. And that's why that survives over, hundreds of years, is because the actors reinterpreting it are like, this is all laid out for me. Even the emotional or thought process, beyond the thought process, the emotional landscape. Whereas, on the improv side, that's where we get into like what's happening this moment. Am I aware completely of what's happening around me? How am I interpreting this as the character? And how can I advance this in a yes and kind of format to build the story together? And the story is the thing that we are building together, and the audience is kind of us. So it's not like we're doing an improv show to get laughs from an audience, but it's like we're building it so that the group of us, and sometimes we get laughs from each other and that sort of thing, but so the group of us can really understand our character vis-a-vis these other characters that we're on this campaign with in the party. All right, so a little bit about script and improv. That's a very important distinction. All right, what else? What is the first thing I want to teach you? Well, I guess the thing that's freshest in my mind, if I'm to be your player coach, helping you to be a good player, is I've really struggled with this character in particular to try to find his voice. And sometimes I'll try little voices. Like, that's something I like to do. And yes, I am the kind of ranger from the north, or I am a wizard and I will, and sort of these sorts of things can also kind of be traps for me. So I've really like tried to be allowing this character to speak through me, and to be as true to my own kind of voice as possible, and to be okay with that. And that's kind of hard for an actor to do, by the way, sometimes. So that's kind of been emerging, and I feel that the best thing that happened to me was when I was like, okay, I'm not going to do my usual thing, the things that I kind of always default to. And, I'm very much the player who will, really want to suss things out and be careful and to find things and to engage with other characters or monsters and try to, outsmart them or trap them or that sort of thing. And also I like to fight. I like to, especially ranged weapons. I like to be far away, sniping, that sort of thing. I often play a ranger for that purpose. But for this character, one time I decided, I'm going to go against my usual thing and see what happens. And I started playing him more like a friend of mine who is a player who often does really outrageous, outlandish things. And he'll steal from us as other players. He'll, do something totally insane and crazy. But what I've realized is that the DM, the dungeon master, really wants you to, try those things and will support you in doing them. And it's not about the rolls and whether it's like, oh, I'm going to get like pass my acrobatics check or whatnot. It's about how is this supporting the story? And the DM's always looking for those moments where, people can do things kind of together or, get that synthesis or that synergy, I should say, that comes from, when everybody has found something in entering combat or solving a puzzle or that sort of thing. So again, I'll bring it back to kind of going against my own grain. And instead of being very sort of, gracious with people and polite and that sort of thing, I decided, okay, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to be like really snappy, and I'm just going to, because there was another character who was possibly trying to manipulate me, I was like, oh, and they had something embedded in me of value to them that they had to protect. And so they were kind of trying to control me. So I just started, this thing's of value inside me. I'm just going to go crazy. I'm going to be like taking risks and, like, I don't care if I get, like poisoned or perish even, like, okay, I'm fine. I'm going to, and just like, I was just trying things out and, upending things. And, yeah. So what this revealed to me is that my character is not one-dimensional, that there are breaking points for people just like there are characters, and I found a real liberation in that. So my first coaching to you would be, find out what your natural sort of thing to do is. Are you that player that likes to charge in and blow things up, or like attack first, take names later, or are you the one who's thoughtful and hanging back and not wanting to be cautious? And just try one session where you, for whatever reason, whatever motivation you can find, you explore that other side of yourself. And so it just as I play moving forward now, I'm always thinking, okay, I know his breaking point. I know where he's going to get snappy or go against his normal grain or my normal grain, whatever that is as a player. And it allows me to, it's very liberating. And the other players start to feel that. And so does the DM. And, it just starts to add this nice little flavor. And, yeah, so that's one thing. I don't know what to call it. It's like reverse psychology. Let's call it that. Reverse psychology. All right. By the way, thanks for choosing my class and being part of this. This is an experiment for me, and so I'm really excited to share whatever I can with you to help you have a really fun experience playing D&D for a very long time. Okay, so the next thing